Yeah, see what I'm up against here for this I Love Tools people? I am Allison Lee, your host, and I will be putting people in the corner soon if they don't behave. But you're going to love this presentation we have put together, or they've really put together. Warning, you're just going to want to buy everything. Let me just tell you right up front. Wait, let me look at my notes before I introduce all of them. Wait, I have a little thing that I can just show here on the video. So you make sure you can see the video on your screen there. One of the things we're using is the same coupon code for all of the things that we're going to show you, because we all get nuts with trying to remember all the different codes when we order something. So this time, the code is always I love tools, all caps. So write that down, because whatever you are interested in, you're going to use that code. This one will give you 20% off over at Craftcast, where you can get all your videos. You're going to see videos. I know you're going to see videos that you're excited to want to learn and do if you haven't already. But I wanted you to see that. Then here's one of the things you're going to want to know about, which is over at Cool Tools. Does everyone know about Cool Tools, where we get lots of supplies? There's a handout that's already just put in the chat box, which has all these links in there as well. But I love Cool Tools. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, they have everything. Secondly, Rhonda, who owns Cool Tools, is the best for customer service as well. We don't mess around. You don't like something, it breaks, it's not right. We fix, we exchange, it's all good. So I just want you to know that. And so Cool Tools, we have kits. Those are pictures of Craftcast kits in the background, because now with classes, we have kits that you can get your supplies. And if you don't want everything in the kit, you can eliminate stuff. But we used to put together handouts, and then there was so many links to buy everything for the supplies for the class. So this was like a no-brainer that all of a sudden we realized, hey, let's make it easier. So that's really fun. So use the coupon code over there, I Love Tools. You will get free shipping over there, which we love. I don't know about you, but I love when something's free shipping. And that is good till the end of the month, 7/31. Just like the, yes, Brenda said Cool Tools, it's fabulous. Just like the coupon code, I Love Tools for Craftcast, everything good to the end of the month. Because we are sort of piggyback on Amazon Prime Day. So that's what the deal is, because everyone's in the mood and has their card out to do and buy stuff. So that's what's going on there. What do I want to show you? Oh, what I want to show you next is this, which is, look how cute those smiling faces are. So today we have Patrick, we have Pam, we have Sean, we have Mags, we have Cindy, and we have Carrie. They are all genius at what they do. They wouldn't be showing you these things unless they have tried them, loved them, and I agree, all great stuff. So you're going to love all the different things. You're going to be clicking on links is all I want to tell you. So I am always thrilled that they come on and share and do this with me, because I don't know, we have a good time, right, kids?
Yes, ma'am.
We do.
We have fun. And I always know it's a good one. I said this earlier, that when we do the rehearsal, that all of the presenters want to buy what the other presenter was showing, then I know it's a great I Love Tools. So no further ado, let me start with, I think the next thing, is it a coupon code? Oh, or is it Patrick, your picture? We have so many coupons. It is you. Okay, so Mr. Patrick, a fantastic artist. He won over at Sinter, the Metal Clay Conference that just completed. What's the official name of what you won?
Superbly Centered.
Sinter 2024.
Sinter 2024.
It's the Superbly Centered exhibition, the 2024.
Oh yes.
That's
And
the
his
exhibition.
High-end.
His piece
That's
won,
exhibition.
and it is genius. He is a
And it
very
deserved
talented.
it.
It's what?
Absolutely
Thank
did.
you.
Totally deserved it. It was stunning.
Stunning, right?
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
then Patrick came up with this idea. He's a wonderful artist as well. Forget just the metal clay. We go back and we share a lot of things about artwork and stuff. So now he's come up with a product of his own that is texture plates on paper. Maybe we need a new name for that, Patrick. And he's going to show you all about this. You're going to love it. And I'm going to let Patrick take it away. Let me take out my notes for you, darling. And he's going to explain everything about it. And if you have questions, put it in the box and we'll take a pause.
So you could hold it right here just for a second, Allison.
Mm-hmm.
So as Allison was saying, I've been doing this for a while, and I think probably one of the first things that almost all metal clay artists do is they start looking for textures. Where's textures? And once they realize they can find them just about anywhere, then it starts this whole process of collecting and curating. And one of the things that I immediately started doing when I first started the metal clay is I really wanted to make my own custom textures. But the problem back then was the process was a little bit messy, and I didn't really take to that very well. But now today, technology has caught up, and now we're able to actually make texture plates on paper. And these are laser etched texture cards, and the company name is Texture Smith. Okay, you can go to the next
And they're
one,
so
please.
beautiful. They look gorgeous just out. Their artwork. I'm just saying.
Thank you. Thank you. What we've done is we've put it into different collections. So I've been using a little bit of my fashion background to organize things. And this was, made by artists for artists. And so what I try to do is add a little bit more value than just the actual texture plate itself. So by dividing it up into categories, I think that it helps not only find the pieces, but actually will help in your marketing. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. So do the next one, please.
Yeah, those are beautiful. And I love the categories.
Okay, pause. And then, so this is one of the categories, living creature. There's a segment that, paragraph that's there. And this talks about what the intention of this collection is. And for this one in particular, what we did was we wanted to look at actual textures that come from nature and not just look at the animal and put a bird on it or put a dog on it. We looked really micro, and what we ended up doing was scales and things like wings. And so if you click on the next image,
I'm in love
you can
with those
see
wings.
that the dragonfly wings
I'm in love with those.
are those.
Those are gorgeous.
And there's all the marketing and stuff at the top, that tells you about the product. But what's important here, not only the texture plate, but for designers, we've tried to pepper in little bits of information. So a group of dragonflies are called a cluster. The other one that we found was a group of starfish is called a constellation. And so there's these little interesting tidbits. You can go to the next one, please. As you read through, if you want to, and you can pull some of this information. We've put some technical information like the cellophane of the dragonfly. That's called, I think it's called a tigma or something. And it's all in here. And if you want to, from a marketing standpoint, you can pull that in. It makes your marketing copy a little bit more interesting, and it actually allows you to design with intention, which is what our whole site is about, is designing with intention.
We love that. It's
next.
an important thing to remember.
So here's the close-up of it. And you can kind of see that this is zoomed out really big, so you can see the detail of the texture. Unfortunately, we have to put the watermark on there so that nobody seals it. But it gives you a great idea as, what this actually looks like.
Oh,
next.
I love that. Okay. Now we get to see what it looks like on some pieces.
Yeah, so we try to put samples of as many as we can. We're working through the process right now. This is a metal clay ring, and you can see that it's a bronze clay with that texture on it. And we try to give a couple of different angles. If you go to the next ones.
Yep. It's really pretty.
So you can see that detail and how deep that texture is. And then, of course, traditional metalsmiths can use this too. Now, for traditional metalsmiths, this is a one-time use because it's going through the rolling mill and it will compress and destroy it. But you do get really good textures. And with the metal clay, all of these textures work extremely well with metal clay because metal clay is so sensitive; it picks up every detail.
Are those three different clays right there, Patrick?
No, those are two bronze clay. One of them is patinaed more than the other, and then that's copper sheet.
Okay, I was wondering there because they're really pretty colors also, the way they look.
Again, just a little side view to see the depth of the texture.
Yeah, it's good. It really...
And it's surprising how deep you can get with some of these textures.
Yeah, really pretty. Different ways.
Okay, so if pause here for a second. So the cards are actually a special paper. We looked at over a dozen, probably like 15 different types of paper to run through the laser. And we finally ended up with this one. They all, they all don't work, but this one works, very, very well. And if you go to the next one.
Wait, let me take a quick, well, we'll take questions in a little bit. I see them adding up
Okay.
here. I love Pam said it will work great with some enamel.
Absolutely. You can see there the thickness of it. You can see how clean those lines are. And it's just a wonderful medium. It's just another way to make textures. So this is the Botanical Symphony Collection. Just a few of these, we can go through just really quick. And I love, putting these together. And some of them are like this one are great because you can use different parts of the texture and get different looks. You can cut out one of those in the center and that just can be a pair of earrings.
I love that one. What's that one
Ones
called?
that are less dense and one that's more dense. This one is called Delight.
That one's lovely. So pretty.
Thank you. And what's next here? That guy. That's a fun one. There's a ring that's coming up, so keep this texture in mind.
Okay. It's interesting to see how you use them and crop them too. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And here's some sheet metal, just so you can see it in motion with the camera. You can see how crisp those details are. And from here on out, it's sheet metal. We have divided these up into 3 different categories. To the industry, these are all low relief impressions, but for us at TextureSmith, we have low, medium, and high. So this is the low relief. This is the medium one. And then there's the deeper one as well, which is next. They're all appropriate for metal clay. However, the medium and the deep ones are most appropriate for the sheet metal. You can see all of that detail. Especially, I like the fur one down at the third one on the bottom. That one's one of my favorite ones.
That's good.
So one-time use with the rolling mill and with metal clay, you get multiple uses. We stopped at 15 uses. Everybody also gets this sample card, and this is especially important for sheet metal, but it gives the different reliefs. It gives the low relief, the medium relief, and then the high relief. You're able to use these, pop them out. You can run them through the rolling mill or run them on the metal clay, and you can test to see how each one of these looks before you actually use the pattern that you just bought. So it's a good way to make sure that you're doing the right rolling technique or the right pressure on the rolling mill without actually ruining what you've just purchased.
That's always a nice thing to know. Important.
Next, please. And more samples. Eventually, these are all the textures that we were looking to showcase, but we're also going to be having templates. And so these are just a little preview of the templates.
All right, I'm going to take questions in one sec because we have a bunch of them, but let's just go through looking at just some more of the textures here. That
bronze clay here.
Pretty close up.
You could see the detail on this one. This is 2 inches long. This one as well, you can see the detail on.
Yeah, that's great. Really pretty.
This is from the Geometrics collection. So these are from here on. These are just samples of things that you can do with.
Love it.
This cute little one is by Rachel, who works here, and Rachel Brogdon Design. And that's her signature moon that she does all the time. And she applied these different textures to it. So we really like this one right here.
That's fantastic.
And then just some statement rings that I made as testers. This is from the Botanical Symphony collection. There's the textured band as well from the Geometrics collection. There's that texture I was talking about earlier. You can see how that looks.
Oh my gosh, possibilities.
And these are just real simple rings.
Yeah.
There's 2 parts, simple statement rings, and they're large, and they're just a fun thing to do and really easy to make. I'll be doing a tutorial on that, and you can check the website, and it'll be up on the website eventually.
And we'll be doing a freebie live to show you all. Coming up soon too. So, all right, wait, let me go. Okay, I think this picture here might answer some questions which people wanted to know. They want to know, let me go from the bottom. Have you tested with polymer or air dried clays? That's Mags.
No air dry clay. We have tested with polymer.
Okay.
We use a little bit of talc on the sheet, and then just actually run it through the pasta.
Okay, talc. People want to
Super.
know. Who wants to know here? Someone want to know, is that Robin Beth? Do you use a release for metal clay?
Yes, absolutely. So it's important because for paper texture sheets, you have to treat them very differently from the rubber texture sheets. And so the PDF that's included goes through the conditioning process of how to properly condition your sheets. If you condition them properly, then you can use them. I think it's probably upward of 20 or 30 times. But like I said, we only stopped at 15 just because we got tired. And then this information the PDF also gives you information on how to do the proper rolling technique too. There's the reduction rolling method that is gone over in detail, and also where you see the arrows, there's going to be there are videos on the YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see all of that as well. I didn't want to get into all that here because you can see it on the video.
For all the how-to, that'll be great. And then, oh yeah, we have a picture of your website here too, so people can start checking out. And the link is in the,
that's YouTube.
in the YouTube, and the link is in there. And then Missy just put up your link on there, so people can click now if they want. And then you are offering with the right code
2525. Get 25% off purchases over $25 with I Love Tools. Yay!
Order though. Check out the website. How many are in a pack, Patrick? About?
They're individual.
They're individual. Okay.
Yeah.
So you buy, you pick and choose. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And all the prices are on the website, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. The sheet metal was 22 gauge that we used, and I have not personally enameled on these, but I don't see why they wouldn't work for enameling. Are there any
other
questions on this one?
You.
I know they're gorgeous, right? It's all, I mean, this is worth trying and playing with and coming up with all kinds of different ways that you can crop and cut. Kara, that's a good question. We don't send out the chat, but we do send you the link for the PDF, which is in there again right now. You could just download it out of the chat box, which has every freaking link and thing in there you could possibly want, because we know how important that is. So just make sure you have the handout. And if for some reason you miss it, just email support@craftcast.com and Misty will make sure you get a copy of it. So there you go. What if you don't have a rolling mill? How would you use these on sheet metal? I don't know.
You would not.
Okay. Yeah. You need
not that I know of. If anybody else knows, I haven't tested it, but I've heard where you can put things in a vise and do it that way.
Maybe take your car, run it over with your car or something. I don't know.
Yeah, find a friend with a rolling mill.
Yeah, that's better. All right. Someone suggests maybe hammering them a bit. I think you need to play. I mean, we all know that we try and play, and who knows, you might something great that you love with gentle hammering on it. So give it a try. Well, Mr. Patrick, thank you. I mean, it's beautiful what you've done. We applaud.
Thank you. There's lots to come in the future, and just sign up for the newsletter. And I'm excited to start sharing everything with everybody.
Yes.
And to get everybody on the same page with textures and design and just all the stuff that we talk about all the time.
And you know what? Let's also put in there, Misty, our Chat with Craftcast Facebook page. Make sure you come over and we'll let you in there, because that's where we also announce a lot of stuff. And Patrick will be doing a freebie on his own for all of this coming up in the next few weeks, not like tomorrow.
And check back often, because we're always adding new textures.
Exactly.
Right now there's probably about 24, but we're looking to have upwards of 200 different designs, and we're just going to keep adding and keep adding.
Yay, and congratulations. I'm just going to say this is a group of people who are making it and doing it. So thank you, Mr. Cusack, for coming on and telling us all about that. It's always fun. And there is a picture of, you can go to Patrick on craftcast.com, put in under instructors his name. That's only part of the page of his classes. There's more underneath there. I will highly, highly, highly recommend do the concrete creations one. You will flip out. I'm even wearing one of the rings that I made there. That was just the little bonus that we did. So you will flip out. I'm just telling you, it's a warning. Do you ship to Europe, Mr. Patrick?
Yes.
Yes. There you go. Thank you for that, Ingrid. Thank you for that question. And with that, now you're not going to believe this. Okay, first of all, Ms. Pam East. Remember I called you Pam West that one time many years ago?
Yes.
Ms. Pam East also was acknowledged over at the Center event. What was the name of your, so I get it right?
The Liz L. Crowley Vision Award.
So
Yeah,
well deserved.
That was a career
Very well deserved.
high.
Wait, move your
I'm-
mic a little closer to your
Can you hear?
Yeah,
Is that better?
better.
All right. Yeah, it was an amazing career high. That was just
Yes,
I
and you
can't
deserve
I can't
it.
even describe
No.
the feelings.
We applaud you. I love that I know all the gurus and everything because I don't know a lot and I can just call and ask them. So well deserved. Bravo. Big applause. And now when I said to Pam, what do you want to show on I Love Tools? She was like, oh, wait. There's a new light box. I have to show the new light box. I'm like,
Yes.
okay. So now on the rehearsal, this is a warning. On a rehearsal, this is one of the things where everyone else said, oh, I want that light box. Except Patrick had already purchased that light box, a light box. And I said to him, which light box did you get? Pam has a new good one she's really recommending. Of course, it was the same one. So warning,
Yeah.
you're going to see this new light box. You're going to
And
want it.
Sean uses that light box. And
All right, so here it is. We love whatever Pam also teaches us because she has tried it out. Take it away, girl.
okay, so whether you've taken my photography classes or not, this is definitely the light box. But if you did take one of my previous ones, I was using an older style light box that had an LED ring light in the top. And what's really cool about this one is it's got a built-in diffuser, and it is worth every penny. It's a little more expensive, but
wait.
you're going to want to get it.
Didn't you just say
but wait,
Amazon
but wait.
Prime right
Is it
now?
Amazon Prime?
It is
on
an
Prime.
Amazon Prime Day deal today.
There's
Today is
the
the last
link.
day.
Miss, you just put in the
Yeah.
link for it. Click that.
It is on Amazon Prime Day. It is discounted today. I paid the full price, and
And you
still
still
thought
think
it
it's
was worth it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And so yeah, don't miss
All right.
Amazon Prime Day for this.
There is a link right
Um,
there, everyone. So click it and see while you're watching us. All right. So
It's a-
now,
It's a little bigger than my old one, which I also discover I liked because it's easier to get into it. It's
Okay.
not as small. So it's 16 by 16 or 40 centimeters. It's, more or less 40 centimeters.
Carol just
and
said there's only one in stock. Buy it.
Well,
Who knows? It'll
yeah,
come back.
if you search for the Palouse 16 by 16, you may find more. Amazon works that way.
Yeah, that's true too. And Sean just put in the UK link. So there we go.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the video. Take a look at this here.
So here was the old light box. I wanted to show the one I used in all my previous videos, and everybody loved those videos.
Yeah.
But it had that LED ring light in the top, and so what would end up happening was I would have to, I would get these hotspots. You can see the LEDs on the glass, right? So if I'm doing enamel or glass pieces, or even highly polished silver, you could see that light. And I would have to stuff the piece way in the back and use bounce lights to avoid that. So now I don't need to do that anymore. This one has you don't see that ring light up there, and there's a little distance. It's got a little dial to turn it up. And now when I put that piece of glass in there, you're going to see there isn't any hotspot.
Love that
So
right there.
it's, it's no more little bright lights that are on it.
It is
And so
such a
here's-
game changer.
It is
I tell
a
ya.
huge
It really
changer.
is.
So these are unedited photos. They have not been through photo room. And you can see on the left, you can see that ring light reflected in the glass. And on the left, it's just perfect. And, perfect exposure.
And then look at this, everyone. But now,
And that's after going through photo room. So I took it, I
Yes.
sent it through photo room, and and you can just get these amazing shots. And I have a whole class on photo
yes,
room.
it's in the handout. I just want people who are freaking out. I just want to tell you, you can make that kind of photo happen for yourself. Pam shows you how. I swear to God, you'll be thrilled. Take her course over at
And the oth-
CraftCast.
And the other one, that do take the cell phone photography class, even though I use
Yes.
the old light box, you're going to learn a ton about how to get a
Right.
good picture, even though I'm now using a better light box. You still want both classes.
Yeah, because you have to, as Pam taught us, you have to take a good picture to bring it into photo room.
All right, so go ahead and move
Yep.
forward. And so what I wanted to show was I made myself, I find that silver photographs better on black. I get a better exposure. That piece of material is a light absorbing black fabric. And so you don't get any reflections, glares, anything off of it. And you can get it on Amazon, and it's in the handout. And I'm making a little pad that I can use to position my jewelry before I put it in the light box. And it speeds up my work a lot to have this this movable pad. I'm just using gaff tape to tape down the fabric. I'm not being really fancy. I'm not doing any fancy folds or anything. You don't need to worry about it that much. But this is a great fabric. It's really black. And then the other thing is that I use my light box tilted, and that's something I talk about in the cell phone photography class, is why I tilt my box, but I don't want this thing to slide out. So I need to put some little sticky feet on it, and they don't stick to the fabric. So I had to put a little extra tape on here so that I had something to stick the sticky feet to.
And every item she's talking about, there's a link to in your handout.
There's a
the
link
tape,
to everything.
The black, the sticky
the
feet,
sticky dots,
all of it.
I think the only thing I didn't link was the scissors.
We're good there.
And maybe so these are the sticky dots. They're little clear circles, and I'm just throwing those on, and then you have to peel the little paper off. Probably the hardest thing of this whole thing is peeling that little piece of paper off the sticky dots. It took me a couple of tries. So there it is, and they're very sticky. But the nice thing is, then when I put it in my light box and I tip my light box, it doesn't go anywhere.
Doesn't fall.
And I can set up my jewelry without being in a light box. I can set up my jewelry and then put it in the light box.
That's the best tip ever, Pam, right there.
And the other thing I always have on hand is a chain that doesn't have any terminals. There's no clasp or ring on it. And I use that chain for every piece of, I have two, one a snake chain and one a rope chain. And then I can just throw it right on there very quickly and easily. I can use gravity, to put some weight on the chain, so the jewelry hangs correctly. And then it's going to slide right into my light box. Now, this is another thing I did. I made two pads. I made one for necklaces and I made one for earrings. And this is 4-pound fishing line. That is really light. Very, very, it's almost invisible. You can barely see it in this video. And the light absorbing of the black fabric also makes it hard to see, which is great. That's what I want. I don't want to see that fishing line. And there's a link to the fishing line in the video. It's a clear line. And I got a little high, so I wanted to move it a little lower there. And then I'm going to flip this, and you can see it has the sticky dots on the back.
Oh yeah.
Just like the other one. And I'm going to come around and I'm going to tape it on this side. And then I'm going to have that string. And then I'm not having to set this up every time I go to do photography. It's already done.
I love that.
It's all done. And, I want to do a pair of earrings. I've already got this thing. There's that little string on there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, you can barely see it, which is wonderful. You don't want to be able to see it. And I'm just sliding my ear wires over it. And my earrings are then lined up, and I can put weight on them to hang them correctly. And I can have them at an angle. And so there we go. And I think in a minute I'm going to accidentally turn them over, but that's all right. All right, so that's all set up, right? And now how to use it with the light box. So I've just got a box here. I don't know what that was from, but you've got boxes around the house. We're all Amazon people. I just tuck that under there to put the whole thing at an angle, which makes the bottom of the light box and my camera in plane with each other, which means I'm shooting straight down on the piece. It's much easier to do this if your light box is at an angle. And then I probably would have taped the back of the chain. This time I didn't, but also having a little angle puts weight on the chain so the piece hangs more naturally. So I'm just lining it up, and then I'm going to put my, and I just stuck the earring one up on top of the box to get it out of the way. And then I'm going to show you how it looks from the camera view, which that should just come up next. So there it is. That's camera view. So I'm shooting straight down on the piece. When I'm done with the with one, I want to switch to earrings. I just switch pads. It's already made. I don't have to start fiddling with anything. And there it is. And there's me accidentally flipping them around, but that was because I was getting too wild with it. The other nice thing is if you put it in and you look in your camera and it's off to one side, instead of having to rearrange the jewelry, you can just slide the pad over.
Yeah, that's really a great tip. Amazing. Old light box, new light box. Uh-oh, Pam looks like she froze. Are you there, Pam? You guys, can you?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
She looks frozen.
Oh, you're frozen, Pam. All right, well, I happen to know how the video goes, so hold on a second. I think it's amazing. This is the old light box and the new light box, and look at the difference there. And those are, like she says right there, unedited. I mean, that's really genius. And then
And look at, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. Look at what?
I was going to say, and look at the pearl too.
Oh, the pearl, yeah.
The difference in the
Mhm.
pearl is amazing.
Right? The
I love
pearl.
this light box. I mean, I had to stop what I was doing and reshoot all of my texture plates. So everything on my website has been shot with this light box. So
Yeah, you're getting a great recommendation from the people in the know here. I'm just checking to see. I know Pam's trying to get back on again. So Patrick, you could answer this question then. Did you buy the same size that Pam did, or did you buy a different
Yes.
size? You did.
no, I bought the same size.
You did. Do you know if the smaller one, all of them have the same kind of light above, correct?
That I
They've all
don't
got
know.
ring. Yeah, pretty much all of them have got the ring light at the
They do.
top.
Okay,
So
thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
this new diffused box only comes in this size. It's their most recent edition.
Okay.
So it's pretty new. They
Okay.
brought it out in this size, and this is relatively big if all you're shooting is jewelry. And if you are starting out, it is a big investment. But knowing, and I know Pam and I both agree on this point, we're both photographers as part of our business. And this tent is now all I use. So I use it for my professional photos. I use it for photos that are going to print.
Yeah.
And that's the most high quality photo I need. And this does everything. But Pam's best trick in the world is when she angles the tent.
Yeah.
Because this
Yeah.
tent does have a hole at the top, so you can shoot down, but you've got to take the diffuser out. So you get back to that issue with light spots.
I'm
By
glad that you said
angling
that.
The tent,
Yeah.
by angling the tent, you don't have to take that top
Yeah.
diffuser off. You get that flat shot, which is a game changer again.
Thank you. I see. This is what I love. We all love the same product, so everyone can fill in and help. I hope that. Deborah, that particular fabric she used, there's a link for it, and I don't remember right now what it's called. Maybe Misty can pop it in. It's in the handout. I'm guessing it's designed for photography purposes. So, let's see. The card is on an angle just because she propped up the box slightly by putting that little cardboard box under it. Oh, yeah,
Alison,
yeah.
Pam's now back on.
She is. Okay, hold
you
on.
can
Let me
find
find
her.
you. Thank you, Sean. Okay, where's your name? I'm looking for you. Pam, hold on. There's a lot of people.
Cindy, I saw your question. And yeah, it folds right up, just collapses onto
Oh.
itself.
Yeah, it goes into a bag. Like it slides into a bag. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm asking her to unmute. She's back.
Hey, can you hear me?
Not good. You don't. It's not on
We
your
can.
mic
Oh,
yet.
God, my internet went down. I am on my cell phone.
Okay. Well, hold
let
on.
me get my
Oh,
headsets in.
Oh no, poor
Oh
thing.
no.
Luckily,
Okay.
we have other people who love the light box have now filled in your
Oh, thank
absence.
God. Thank God.
When you froze, we had Sean and Patrick take right over. So now I was just going to brag about this because this, after using Lightbox, is what she did bringing in a photo room. I'm telling you, people take that class; it'll change your life with photography. It's
Got through
genius.
most of it before my internet crashed.
Yeah.
My internet's out in my whole house.
Okay.
Oh no.
All right, well, relax. We got you covered here. I'm going to talk about right now that I also love. Here is your unedited comparison, old Lightbox, new Lightbox. As Patrick pointed out, look at the pearl, look at the actual enamel. It's a game changer.
Mhm.
It's a game changer. Just
It is.
saying.
Thank you for filling in for me.
Oh, we got you covered, girl. That's why we do rehearsals too. It's like, no, we already love this. And Pam, the one that you did, your last photo of your blue earrings on the wood background, is that out of photo room or you just shot it that way?
Photo room.
That's photo room.
No,
Okay.
that's photo room.
That's what I thought.
And it looks very natural. And in fact, that project, I'm doing that project. That is going to be a project video, that pair of earrings.
I know. Oh, there's more good things coming up, just saying.
I'm working on that one.
The link for the gaffer's tape. Oh, Misty, can you just help? It's in the handout. Terry, there. It's probably our screw up of something there, of a little handout, or we will double check.
I don't know.
No, we're good. We're good. We've answered questions because Patrick was here and Sean was able to fill in, so we're good. You guys, I mean, you're excited, right? Isn't this amazing? Yes, that class is fantastic, Terry. Thank you for saying that.
I can tell you that photo room is extremely user friendly. If you're already in Photoshop and you're comfortable using it, that's great. Most of my students are not. So that, they're new to photo editing, and it's just super, super, super user friendly.
I will tell you, I've been using Photoshop for a billion years since it started, but Photo Room was still like, oh, wait, this is easy and quick, and it saves a lot of time that Photoshop never did. Marilyn, Misty will throw the handout in there one more time. We keep putting it in the chat box so you can just grab it and download it with all the links. So check that out. So Pam, thank you for coming on and figuring it out even when your internet went down. You're the pro. Thank you. And we love your video. So thank you very much. Big round of applause for Miss East for doing that. All right, now we have another fun tool coming up. Just saying, if you're oh wait, I forgot. In your handout is a list to all of Pam's classes, but right there on top, you'll see Mastering Photo Editing with Photo Room and Phone Photography Secrets Revealed. Those are the two we've just been talking about that you will flip over learning. So I'm just saying, use your coupon code and get those. It's a good project to learn during the summer, I think. All good. All right, next, again, another genius here is Miss Mags. Okay, so I knew as soon as, well, you are, please. And as soon as Max came back from a workshop, she said, oh, I have a new tool. And then, isn't this where I said, okay, we'll remember that? And then when we talked again, we couldn't remember what we wanted to remember?
No, that was a class we talked about.
Oh, okay.
And neither one of us still to this day remember what that class was.
Okay, but I always write things down
I could not forget.
Okay, good.
This one I couldn't forget. I got too excited about it. I was at a retreat.
Yeah.
And we have one woman who is very vocal, just in her normal talking, if you can hold here for a second.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of a sudden, it's like one of the last nights, and we hear this, y'all, you need to pay attention right now. And apparently what had happened was this woman, Laura, had brought out this mini drill press and was using it to put the holes in her earrings. And she did not think it was a big deal. And once Terry made the announcement for us to go look at it, we were literally standing over her, watching her use it and looking for it on Amazon. So I think we probably sold 10 of those as it was. I ordered it immediately. It was at my house like the day after I got back from the retreat. I immediately opened it up and used it. And it's just, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I don't know I don't know what the cost is off the top of my head, Robin. And yes,
the prime deal is $76.77.
There you go.
And you want to be very careful when you order it, because when you go to the link, there are other options. You want to make sure you get the SDS Mini Plus.
We have that link in the handout,
SDS Mini Plus.
but
Yes,
double
we
check
have
it
in
to
the
this
handout.
picture.
Yeah.
And let's, Sarah, you can't download the handout. That's weird. But oh, good. Missy just put the link in. There you go.
Missy's got it in there.
Yeah.
So what you get in this kit is you get the drill itself with all of the bits, you get the recharger, and you get the drill press. And the drill itself has LED lights down at the bottom that focus down onto the plate where you're going to drill press into. Everything is magnetic. All of those bits fit into that beautiful little case that's magnetic, and it's just a joy to use. I never used my drill press for my rotary tool because it was just a pain to do it. It's so big and you're trying to get into, a little piece of jewelry. This is perfect. You get the drill bits are from a 0.6 millimeter to a 2.2 millimeter. It's a 3/32 inch keyless chuck. It's 550 RPM. It's cordless, as we said before. And if you want to step up, there is a step up that's called an SDS Ultra Plus that adds 4 speeds to it. So it goes from 400 to 7,700. It also, the drill press itself moves to different angles if that's something that you would use. And that is also on Prime for $103.97. But I think for most of us, this is more than appropriate. It goes through plastics. It's gone through polymer. I'm sure it's going to go through metal clay if it goes through polymer. I've done it through polymer and polymer that has resin coating on it. So, and I haven't had any problems.
Okay.
I just love it.
There you go.
But unfortunately, I left it with me in North Carolina. So if we want to go to the video, my dear friend Libby Mills was kind enough because she bought one.
Oh wait, there's the package. It's beautifully packaged.
This is the packaging is beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely, and it is small enough that you could travel without taking it apart. The putting it together is not. It's not hard,
okay,
but it's not totally clear. So I would keep it together and just put it in another box. So there you can see all the pieces taken out before it's been put together.
It's nicely designed.
Very nicely designed.
Cute.
And now you're going to see she's going to stick a bit in there very easily. Just unscrew, stick it in there. I do not have a link for the Ultra, but if you go to the Aeromax store on Amazon, you'll find it. So it has the button the first time you hit the button, it goes in the clockwise. You can hit it a second time to get it to go counterclockwise. And then the third time is the one that turns it off. Now, Libby used the block to lift it up. And I think I would do that going forward as well, because it is a little bit hard to see if you're like many of us are and your eyesight isn't as great as it was. It's a little easier to line it up this way. But you can see there, as it's done, it's only 7.5 inches high and less than 5 inches long.
That's crazy. That's great.
I mean, it's just so lightweight and so easy to use. I know it's going to make a huge difference because I was hand drilling all of my holes in my jewelry because it was just such a pain to bring out the rotary tool and the press every time. This is easy peasy.
Say, Mags, Leslie wants to know, can you handheld it? Guess you could.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And Laura wants to know, will it work on sterling metal?
I don't know whether
thick.
it would work on metal or not. I think that maybe if you want to try metal, you would probably have to do the other one that has a higher RPM.
Okay. And does the press, that's a good question, Marilyn, does it take other bits?
If it's a 3/32 inch post, then it should. They also have a rotary tool that has all of the polishers and all of the engravers and all of that stuff. So if you go to their site, look around, there might be something else that you want and that would work better for you.
Right.
But for me, I really only need it for the drilling because I use my rotary tool for the buffing and all that stuff.
Right.
And I wouldn't change that because I need the speed on those.
Right.
You
No,
know,
that
this is
makes
only
sense.
550 RPMs, so it's not going to go.
That's what
fast,
you're
fast,
looking
fast.
for when you see the Amazon page,
Yes.
just to help you out
And as
there.
you can just hardly see it, but at the bottom, you'll see that there's little boxes.
Yeah.
After it says size SDS Mini Plus, there's several other boxes that you can choose
Got it.
from.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying be careful and make sure it's the SDS Mini Plus. You can buy the drill itself by itself.
Okay.
I don't remember seeing the drill press separately, but that could just be me not seeing
Yeah,
it.
look at the
I wasn't
pictures.
looking for it.
Because I was looking around after you talked about it. I went to the Aeromex store and everything. We have the link in there, but read it. Oh, Barbara Becker Simon's adorable. It is adorable, right?
It is adorable, right, Barbara?
Yes.
1 second before we go on
Hi, Barbara.
further, because the issue of putting it together is really there's a tube that you screw on that you use to push it up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another screw that is to tighten the drill into the press. And it's confusing as to which goes where. And this doesn't help because they don't have them included here. But the longer tube piece that is how you get it to go up and down goes on, looking at this, onto the right side as you're looking at the drill press on the right side, and the gnarled screw goes onto the left side.
Oh, thank you for that. So you can always come back and look when you're like, what did Mags tell us? And the screws went when you're frustrated. Okay, we love that. We love that. Thank you, Miss Pam. All right, so Miss Mags. Now,
That's okay.
Here's some pictures of Mags' class. So just like, there's so many great things. Go look at her classes. I should have pulled out my the dahlia flowers, and this is the time of the year to be making those friggin' dahlia flowers right now. They are so good.
Mm-hmm.
Magnets, using earth magnets even on. I was going to pop the earth magnet on my stainless thing here and see if it worked, to just have it then on a necklace too.
It does.
Okay.
I did that. I've actually worn that like that for probably, I know I took it on 2 vacations.
All right,
and
I'm going to try
with the
that
packing
after.
and everything,
Okay.
it lived through it.
Yeah, we love those earth magnets for doing that. So Mags has tons of classes, tons of I Love Tools she's done. She's a wonderful teacher. I love her. We love everyone here. Thank you for sharing that new tool. I know everyone is thrilled. Thank you, darling. All right. Did anyone get kicked off the Zoom? Sarah, did you get kicked off? You shouldn't. We're 140 people, but paid for a huge one. So you shouldn't be kicked off unless you were acting bad. And I'm not up on who was acting bad. So Misty, you're good at finding if anyone acts poorly. So, and it's not me. It'd be bad if they kicked me off because I said something, right? Because I've got that'd be bad.
Would be bad.
Yeah, that would be bad. So I'm going to behave. All right. So next, oh no, wait. Sorry. I went by your sheet, Carrie. I got a little excited. Ms. Carrie is going to show us and talk about a metal clay, so we all will be up to date on Project X clay. We're thrilled she's coming on, and there's a coupon code. Just remember, I Love Tools. You'll see at the end what you get. So, Carrie, thank you for coming on and telling us all about this clay and which one to use and the questions that people have.
No problem. It has been kind of a roller coaster of a year. So this is a great opportunity for me to kind of tell everybody what it is, why it happened, and all of those little things, and kind of what to look for when you're shopping for your metal clays now.
Right.
With PMC going away, when we decided that we were going to launch a clay, we decided to try to launch something different. It's not like the old metal clays. We wanted different properties. We wanted to try to improve some of the things that were, that all of us have gotten used to with metal clay, right? You've got the working time, you've got the porosity of the metal when you're finished, and we've all learned to kind of work around those things. So we thought we would try to change some of those things so metal clay didn't have to stay the same. So that is Project X. The metal and the clay is different.
Okay.
The metal itself, what we did was reformulate the mix of metals. So we use 3 sizes and shapes of particles in our clay, and it results in a much denser metal in the end. So, when you're comparing it to any other metal clays, you're going to be seeing a very different structure in the finished metal. Okay, so it solders easier. It fuses very simply versus kind of, if you've ever used metal clay before to do fusing with, it fuses a little weird because of the porosity. This fuses much easier. It polishes higher, bends very easily. So there are quite a few differences that result from the metal being different. We also changed the clay properties. So in the clay formulas, the first thing that, we always hear from beginners is the first time they touch the clay, oh, it dries too fast. So we thought, okay, let's try to improve that, give them a little bit of a longer working time with the clay properties. A little more flexibility in the dry clay state, so it wasn't quite as fragile. It's a little stronger, I would say.
Oh, and
So
someone, Linda Kay just said it enamels beautifully.
it does, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit as I show a few of the samples of the pieces. It enamels so easily. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So we're looking at a few of the packages. Our first ones were
Yes,
the 999, right? And the Flex.
exactly. So we
Okay.
had 999 and 999 Flex. Both of those are torch fireable or kiln fireable.
Right.
Got 960 and 960 Flex. Those are kiln fireable, open shelf, no carbon.
I love that
Right.
it says it right on the package for all of us who tried hard to remember everything.
Yep. And the back of the packages have the recommended firing on them too.
Okay.
And we've got, that one's so hard to see. I just
It
realized
is. The blue
it's
is hard to
funny.
see there.
Yeah. Yep.
925 sterling, does it say?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the 925, and it's the strongest of the metals. It does require carbon firing in the kiln. It fires for
Okay.
an hour. So,
Okay. And then we have some.
it's the best for, ring bands that you really want to be strong so that they're
Okay.
not getting dented or anything like that.
Okay.
We've got water paste and oil paste. The oil paste is good for connecting metal to clay or metal to metal, and also for using to do repairs, things
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
The water paste is the standard, just the standard stuff that we make out of scrap all the time.
Okay.
And then we also have the 999 in syringe, which you can use that on any of the other ones. It's the firing range of that one is versatile. So you can use that on the 960 and on the 925 if you want to.
Great. And then
Right.
this little goodie right here. We love these little containers.
Yes. This is X2O. This is a rehydrating fluid. And I'm going to explain that one because everybody kind of misunderstands this one.
Right. We have a
Don't
little
use
video that'll
this-
show that.
Yeah. Don't use this instead of water.
Don't use it.
Use
Got
a
it.
little
Okay.
bit of this inside the clay before your water. It makes it accept the water better. So I'll talk about
Okay.
that when we show the video part.
But I love this. This is a little picture that shows shrinkage so we can really see.
Yes. So it's a high shrink clay. That is good for some things, bad for other things.
Right.
It is great for detail. So you can make your pieces bigger and not have the fat finger problem, and all
Got
those
it.
things. And it's going to shrink down and still give you that fine detail. This is a good example of how much that is. Each of the clays is a little bit different, but the average is 25%. So I
Okay,
tell
that's a
people
good
roughly
visual.
figure 25%, right?
Okay.
Uh,
Good to know.
Rings, bracelets, things like that, it's much more challenging for. So you can still do it. You just need to think about your relationship in the shrinkage when you do those
We have
things.
to do a little math is what happens. We have-
Exactly.
and we can do it. We can do it.
So this is some detail again. It's showing you can see my fingers there. It's showing you how small these pieces are and the detail that you get
Right.
out of just a simple, that's a, Chinese silicone mold, not fancy kind of thing. And you still get a ton of detail out of it.
Love it. And I know where we can get some paper texture plates to play with too.
Yes. Okay. Oh, so this is where I was going to talk about the enamel a little bit. So here's the crazy thing. The high firing schedule for the 999 is 1650 for 30 minutes. That's the highest fire that you can do. I tend to tell people to go less than 1650 if you can. Okay. When you do that with this clay, it's going to give you a super high center. So, knowing that, you can absolutely do high-end enameling using that schedule. You can, however, also, and Brandy, I have to throw Brandy's name out here. Brandy Boyd discovered this one for us. You can torch fire the 999, brush it, so not even tumble it, and then torch enamel right on top of it.
Wow. Okay.
So that kind of shows you the density level of it.
Oh, yeah, that's I got it.
Yeah, it's
A
super,
little bit of
super
science
easy.
thrown in. That makes
Mhm.
sense.
Exactly.
Carrie, here's a good question. Even Cindy wrote it. Is the 25% shrinkage from wet or from dry clay?
It's about half and half. So that is a great question. Kind of where to watch for it. I when I dry my clays, I'm very careful if it's a piece that really is going to need to be flat. I manage that. I do the little flip technique on the heat so that I'm managing that shrinkage as it's happening.
Ah, got it.
If it doesn't need to be flat, it's not a big deal. It'll slump in the kiln.
Got it.
And
Okay.
then the other half of the shrinkage is going to happen in the kiln.
And I'm assuming Robin Beth asked about stone setting. I mean, it's the same kind of thing, having your stones that can go to the temperature that you need, correct? It's no,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. You can fire this down to 1100 degrees very easily.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now you're going to show us a little bit of how you conditioned it.
Yes. So it is different out of the package and it behaves differently even when you store it. So I wanted to show you a little bit about how to get it going. When you take it out of your package, it's gonna be in like a little bag. I'm gonna squeeze it so that you can see what it looks like, but it's firm. Okay. It's not dry. So
Okay.
that's the first thing that throws everybody off. They think it's dry. It's not dry. It's just firm, kind of like a polymer is. So you could see those little cracky kind of looking things on the edges when I squeezed it. So all I do is squish it all the way down as thin as I can get it in the bag. I do that about 2 times and you'll see it already starts to come together when that happens. Okay. So I just roll it out super thin and then it's ready to go. Don't do anything else. Don't add any water to it. I try not to do much of anything to it. I just start working with it right then. Okay. To store it, you're just going to wrap it up like that and put it back in this bag. And that's it. Don't put water in there. Don't mist things and things like that. To prove that to you, this is a 3-month-old piece that was on my bench. You can see how dry that seems. Okay. It's not. This piece, I probably would add a tiny bit of moisture to it, but you can see it just rolls out. It's not rock hard. It will never get rock hard like the other clays do. It's just not that kind of texture. Okay. The binders are very different. So I am going to show you about how much X2O to put into something like this. So this piece, I would say, is just a little bit dry. I do want some moisture in it. So I would add 2 drops of X2O into this piece and mix it in, and then maybe add 1 squirt of water to it after I mix that X2O in. And if you can hold at the end of this video for a second, I'll talk about that and kind of why. What happens is the X2O it's an agent that helps the water molecule bind to the binder powder. Okay.
Okay.
So what happens in metal clay is when it dries, it's not the metal that's drying, it's the binder that's drying, right? The little powdered things. Okay. And those turn into little tiny rocks inside the clay. The water sheds off of those rocks. And so that's what takes us so long to get that water to incorporate back into our metal clay. We always seem like we're struggling, to get it to come back to a nice state. The reason why is that the water is shedding off of those binder powder walls. Okay.
I love that we're
X2O
getting science too to understand this, Carrie. Thank you.
Well, it's fun to understand a
It
little
is.
bit about
Yeah.
why,
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
it helps. It
It
helps. So
does.
that makes sense. So that
Yeah, so the X2O binds to that
got it.
binder, and then the water will bind to it,
Got it. Okay.
allowing that binder to start taking that water in a little bit more.
Love it. Love that. All right, so we saw how that worked. Now I think you're also going to show us the firing, just a torch
Yes, just a
fire.
quick torch fire. Yeah. So it's pretty much like everything else. You're gonna do a 2-minute torch fire, let it burn off, bring it up to bright orange, and quench it just like you normally would. You'll see the shrinkage happen here, which is really cute on that little C. Um, the burn off will look a little bit more substantial because it does have a lot more oils in our binders. We use different kinds of oils in our binders. So you're going to see a little more of a burn off happen when you
Okay.
do it. But other than that, it's about the same process.
Love that. Okay.
Oh, I was showing everybody there. Don't worry about the shrinkage on those little eyelets. You can cut those right off.
Right.
Oh, this is the bending. This is an amazing part. So these are torch fired strips that I made, and I missed the camera there, unfortunately. But this is a 3mm mandrel and a 5mm mandrel on super speed so that I can show you how they'll bend just after torch firing.
Oh, I love this when you twist it.
Yeah, this is another test that we always do on our metals. The twist is really tough. Generally, we can get around 1.5 times. But you'll start to see the metal tear as you do that. And so it's really important to see, you know, how far you can do that before your metal starts tearing. And this is kind of to show you the difference in the polish level. Those other two pieces I've got laying there are other brands. So what I did was just take a nail buff. The first part is just, you know, kind of getting the white, the rough surface to start to lay down. And then I'm going to take the smooth side of a nail buff and start to polish the piece. And you'll see kind of towards the center of that strip, you'll see the mirror start to happen in there. See that in there?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference that you'll see. It's just a significantly smoother surface because of the different metal powders that are in it. So
very cool. Okay, so there you go. Try some new. If you haven't tried Project X, there you go. Okay, Robin Beth wants to know, can you tumble?
Absolutely. All of the same things apply. There's just more. For instance, like for smithing, you don't need to do the burnishing to start soldering it. It's just going to solder.
Oh,
right?
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Now I still do the brushing a little bit just to make my life easier. but you don't need to do that. You'll notice when you pickle with many of the other brands, really everyone that I've worked with, you really have to do a good job. What's the word? Neutralizing your pickle afterwards.
Yep.
Right. So it's not inside all those pores. Again, that's another thing. You won't really do that. I put it in the baking soda water, but you don't need to do much more than that.
Okay.
So there are some significant differences when you get into the metal state, but all of the same general rules apply when you're working with the clay.
And everyone can go over to clayrevolution.com, get all your questions answered if we didn't go through it all. I can see Amanda explaining the kiln fire process. I would suggest go over there, but I understand there's a need to preheat the Project X Flex first and then kiln fire. Is that correct?
That is a good question. Yes.
Okay.
And it's on the packages. The Flex needs to be heat dried. Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. Great question. Thank you, Amanda.
Yeah.
And Britt has put in there the URLs so you can go over that. Marilyn just said she's falling in love with the K. We love that.
And I didn't even realize this. I'm going to make everybody's day. We we gave you guys 10% off for the I Love Tools, right?
Yes.
It happens to be, this week happens to be the Project X anniversary. And so all kinds of stuff is on sale. And it is in addition to the 10%.
Wow.
I know. Didn't even realize it was happening. We're like,
oh, heck, I'm going to go buy metal clay and I don't even use it.
Yeah. The links are in the handout, people. I Love Tools gives you the 10%. Everything's to the end of the month, but Carrie just said there's even more. So buy it now. All I'm saying, buy everything now. This is all buy everything.
Where
So,
in
Carrie, I have
Britain?
a question.
Cooks and Gold in Britain.
Okay,
Ethel.
go ahead, Patrick.
So if you're working on like your project and it starts to what I would think would be drying out, do you just add water or do you add the X2, O2 and then the water every time?
It depends on your clay. This is the way that I explain it to people. Your hands soak up the oil and the water, right? When you've soaked up all the oil and you're just adding water to it, it's not going to come back nicely. Okay. So it depends how, so the question is, it depends, Patrick.
But that's
I've
a
run
good.
across that. That's why I asked.
Yeah. If you've touched it a lot and you've taken a lot of oil out, then I do recommend putting the X2O
That
back
makes
in.
sense, though, especially if your studio is depending on the temperature, too, of what's going on in the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Carey. That was really, really fun to see. There you go. There's I Love Tools, 10% off entire order at clayrevolution.com. Use I Love Tools, and then there's a little more something special. So check it out. Go over there and see. Today's the day to do this. Oh, Marilyn said she's fallen in love with the clay. There you go. Cindy wants to know, does that X2O work with other clays, Carrie?
Yes.
There
Haven't
you
found
go.
anything that it doesn't work with. Yep.
We love that. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate you giving us a coupon code, too. Everyone loves to try something new with a coupon code. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So now I'm going to introduce Ms. Shawn Hamilton, who is a genius of so many things. Never mind her teaching metal clay. She's also my tech sister guru that I can talk to. I don't know another person I can talk to like I can to Shawn when we're just talking tech. So I love that about her as well. But she's come on today she's like, what did you call yourself, Shawn? Cheap or something? I don't know. Resourceful?
Well, I don't. I try not to call myself cheap, but
you used some word that was terrible.
I did. I'm here to provide balance.
Oh, balance.
Which we like. I'll provide balance because everybody is giving you expensive tools, and I'm budget friendly.
Yeah, and we love balance. We need that now because we've all used it, and now Shawn is going to take us through things you probably already have or that are inexpensive or you'll find to use in your work. So thank you, Shawn, for the balance you're going to give us because we need that. We have to be sane. All right, so
I'm going to run through just some of my tips that I use with students. And in my mind, I think everybody knows this stuff already. I think we often do when it's stuff we use. And then I chat to people and realize they don't. So my favorite, most recent kind of doming tool is these plastic baubles that come in two halves that you can fill with stuff. They're everywhere. And they come in all sorts of different sizes. So I've got them from like 3 mil up to 10 mil. 3 centimeters. Sorry, 30 mil. Yeah, I was thinking 3 mil. That's too small. 3 centimeters up to 10 centimeters are the ones that I've got. And they're brilliant because they also go into my dehydrator. As long as I've got my dehydrator set, if you can set your dehydrator around the 100F, I think it's about 40C. So I don't let it go really hot because then they will start to melt. And you can't put them on a hot plate.
And are they Christmas decorations? Is that what they are?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, they are Christmas decorations.
Right.
They come in multi-packs, but the thing I love is you've got you've got two halves of your dome if you're making lentil beads.
Right.
You buy one and you've got two.
Right.
Which is perfect.
Perfect. All right, so you're going to show us how you use those. I mean, that's
video.
a great.
Yeah. I've got a little video. This is just to show the different sizes that I use. And just to kind of reiterate that they are these little plastic things. You can use them at Christmas, fill them, put them on your tree.
Yeah.
Well, double up.
I love that they're different sizes,
different ways. Yeah. So in fact, when I did my scratch foam class, I used one of these because I domed the pendant. So the pendant I'm about to show was dried on the big 10 centimeter one. And because I wanted, even though it was just a single piece, I wanted like a flat dome. As the videos.
No. I stopped it just because you were talking there. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this is one of the pieces that I talk about in that scratch foam class, and that was just dried over that dome. And my other tip with these, the great thing about these and where a light bulb doesn't work is if you've got your texture on the inside of the curve, it's really hard to dry that on something like a light bulb. But you can dry inside of these domes as easily as you can dry on the outside.
Love that.
So if you've got something where you want a texture on the inside, it's really easy. And my little tip for drying something on the inside of the dome is the inner cardboard roll of a toilet roll. Just cut a little strip of it. Holds it perfectly. Yeah, and I love using like anything that's around.
I agree with you. The toilet rolls, you don't want to throw them away. You think there's something good. People make flowers. People make things.
Indeed.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So my second tip is to keep an eye on what bottles you've got if you're use it. So from skin products, makeup products, eyedropper bottles. So often things like, I like Cool Slip, but it comes in a really big container, which I don't often want to carry around. So I drop some into a tiny little eyedropper bottle, just that I've cleaned out, just that eye drops in it. And then paste maker, if I want that in a smaller bottle, I can't even remember what came in that little bottle, but it was some sort of skincare product. So I'm always on the hunt for trying to repurpose stuff that I'm buying for a different purpose. And sometimes, especially if you're buying something that comes in a spray, and things like with Cool Slip, sometimes I don't want a spray because a spray sprays too far, whereas I want a little drop because I'm trying to like just lubricate a tiny cutter or something, or I just want a drop of liquid on my work surface to dip something in. Little dropper bottles are perfect.
Well, it usually is just a drop we want. And that's perfect for that little bottle. And you show us here how to pop that off.
Yeah, how to get it out, because people struggle. And I just use, this is just a cutlery knife, so it's not a sharp one. And you just got to get it between the dropper top and the bottle. And they come out really easily.
That's so
they pop
great.
off really easily.
We have those. That's such a good tip. Thank you for that. All right, so now
I love those.
These are your sand sticks. Yeah,
these are my sand. So these are coffee stirrers that you steal from the local coffee shop. Just don't tell them you're doing it.
So
they always have thousands of them. And we throw so many of them away. So to be honest, I will stir a cup of coffee in the coffee shop and keep the stick. And then just run it under the tap when I get home and dry it out.
I'm with you.
I really hate waste. I'm a girl that likes to use everything over and over again. So these are brilliant if you want to just reinforce something. Like I use them with the foam back sanding pads, because those are really obviously flexible and soft, but sometimes you want the cushioning of the foam on the sanding pad, but you need some stiffness to it at the same time.
I bet you could even glue two of those together.
Yeah, you absolutely could. So I'm showing you the bigger version there. I had everybody laughing because that's actually from when I was a student, and I graduated in 1991. So that's how long I've had that one. So these tinier versions pretty much are from my metal clay work. So I just cut lots of strips of really, really untidy cut strips of the foam backed sanding pads, double-sided sticky tape. Now those I haven't written the grit on. When I remember, I like to write the grit on them because then you remember what you've done. And that's just standard wet and dry sandpaper that I've taped around both sides. I tend to leave one side open just in case you don't want an abrasive side.
Oh, that's such a great idea, because there's little to get into the places that you want.
Yeah, they're tiny, and sometimes that's what you want.
Like here.
So my next tip, this is my surprising tip, because this is the one I think everybody in the world knows by now. And it surprises me how many people don't. This original tip came from Wannery Tanner, oh gosh, 8 odd years ago when I was doing a class with her. And this is high density craft foam. There's lots of places actually selling it now, like Metal Clay Limited in the UK sell it. If you went to Cinta and you got a goodie bag, have a look from that goodie bag, because if you see two little black blocks and you don't know what they're for, this is what they are, this foam. But it also, I mean, I'm assuming probably in the States as well as the UK, we're trying to move away from polystyrene packaging here. So companies are using really different stuff. And I found that I got a new curtain rail. And I realized that this packaging that the curtain rail came in is exactly this same foam. And yeah, I get excited about stuff like that. So I now have a container of these little pieces that's going to last me a lifetime, because they last a long time. But you can get it from a craft store as well.
Yes, I've seen it in Michael's and stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can. Just don't get it if you're going to a craft store. Try and look for the one that's minimum probably 6 mil thick.
Okay.
You can get it thinner. If you're doing a lot of kids crafts, you can get it about 3 mil thick, but that doesn't really work for what we need here.
Okay.
So I would go 6 mil thick. If you can get a 10 mil, that's even better.
Or you can use what comes in your Amazon packages that you're all ordering today and see if anything comes in your packages.
See if anything happens. Yeah, have a look at what you're getting.
Yeah.
The thicker foam a lot of times is in the cosplay section of Michael's, where they have the thicker stuff.
Okay.
It's different than the smaller stuff.
Okay. Thank you.
But it's got to be the high density foam.
Got it.
It's got to be the kind of really compact foam.
All right, so you're going to show us.
Doesn't know what this actually does.
Okay.
What this foam does is smooth out cracks on metal clay without taking any clay away. So all you do is, I'm dipping it in water. I'm just tapping it on the back of my hand to get the majority of the water off, because you only want this foam to be slightly damp, just damp enough to start moving the clay around. And I'm using a really nasty, like, scrap of clay that has all sorts of cracks in it, hair, all sorts of stuff, just as a demo to prove that how well this foam works. And I'm just rubbing over, adding a slight bit more water, and just rubbing over it. And what you're doing, Wannery used to use this term, you're smushing the clay around. So you're not actually taking any clay away. So unlike something like a baby wipe, which has a similar action, but does remove some clay, you're not removing any clay. And quite quickly, so on the left there is the scrap piece as was. You can see lots of cracks, quite deep cracks actually. And then in the middle is where, from the video I've just shown, is that I've just smoothed that top piece off. And I thought, right, I'll just keep going, because I wasn't sure how far I could push this foam tool. And actually, by just carrying on, it pretty much got rid of those really deep lines that are in that middle piece. So, it's brilliant to get rid of a lot of tiny little lines, and you're not removing any clay.
That's great.
And it's really quick and very cost effective.
We love that. We feel good. We're reusing things, and we're recycling, which we love.
It's a good one to just add to your toolbox.
Yes,
if
absolutely.
You're trying to smooth, if you're just trying to smooth out the odd little crack.
Love that. All right, next, we love this too as well, what you did with this pencil. It's great.
So this is our lovely Pam. Don't know if she's still with us.
No, but she lost her internet.
Oh, so, oh gosh, 5-6 months ago, Pam did a YouTube video and I subscribed to her channel. So I was watching this about how to use a mechanical pencil for a needle tool. Now, I'm not going to go through her video. I highly recommend everybody goes and watches it. I've got a little tip to add to hers. So I've put the link in the handout to her YouTube video. So if you haven't seen that, go and watch that video. It's brilliant. As per usual, Pam explains everything perfectly. I watched her video. I went through my mechanical pencils and turned one into an amazing, well, in the UK, I call it a pin tool. You guys, I think, call them needle tools, but they're the same thing.
I don't know, pin tool.
So
yeah.
You call it a pin tool too?
Yeah, we do.
We kind of go between, don't we? But they are the same. They are the same thing.
All right. So to go over to Pam's YouTube channel. You can
find that video.
It's probably in the
you'll be able to
handout.
link. It is, yeah. I've linked directly to that video.
Yeah.
But if you're new to Pam's channel, I mean, seriously, watch them all because she's amazing stuff on there.
Okay, so now we're going to show us how you did something special to this tool.
Yeah, so I'm just showing, this is just basically the whole result of
Got it.
what Pam talks about, which is making your own retractable needle tool.
I think what I heard too is it doesn't drag.
No, because they're really fine needles, really fine. So most of these mechanical pencils have a little eraser end that comes out. So I removed the eraser, no use to me, with a pin tool, and cut a tiny piece of that craft foam. So I've got pin tool one end, got smoother on the other end. So my multi-purpose tool. And I just cut a few spares.
Right? She's
good.
So,
I've now got a built, make a little mistake with your needle tool. You just wet the other end and rub it out.
Love it.
So it's just like, I get very excited about these.
We all
little
do.
Things. Yeah, I know.
It's fun.
So this is like never-ending selection of tips. So this one is about looking out for those pointed cotton buds. So these in the UK have been a fairly recent thing that's come on the market, because we've always had those ones that you use with babies, but they've got that really loose kind of cotton end and it's quite rounded. Whereas these I found more for the nail industry, so nail art.
Okay.
And that sort of stuff. So the cotton is a lot firmer, so you can use them. I do wet them, and I use them for cleaning the insides of things like bales. Because if you've made yourself a bale and you just want to clean up like the edge or the inside, it's actually quite tricky. And if the only thing you really can do is, you could use a cocktail stick as well, but those are tiny. But if you're trying to use something like a baby wipe, it's really difficult to actually get that into a bale. So these are perfect. I just damp the cotton point. Don't wet it. You want to damp it just slightly so it actually will take a little bit of the clay away. And it makes all the difference. It's really quick. And the other thing I use these for is if I want to put some LOS on something, some liver of sulfur or black max, but I don't want it over the whole piece, so I don't want to dip the piece, I just dip one of these in. And they also come in different sizes. So I have two little sizes.
Don't we love the nail art business? Yes.
Yeah. So you can get huge packs of these,
right?
And they last quite a long time as well.
Yeah, I love that. So, you can see, I just stopped it there. You can see how perfect that aligns to get into those little places. Yeah.
So I make a lot of little coil bales.
Yep.
And often it's quite difficult to clean up the insides.
Okay. Another thing we can thank the beauty.
And then so there's the two little
that's
sizes.
Great.
So I just look out for the different sizes. And then this is my final tip. I am done. And this one is because I made everybody laugh with this tip when I was last teaching. Because even though I have a big dehydrator in my studio, more often than not, I will have a little mug warmer on my desk if I'm just doing something and I want a heat source right by my side. But this is a very cheap mug warmer, so it's an on and an off, and it's super hot. And I started burning my playing cards, because I do have the little silicone, the little Teflon cards, but I can never find those. But I have an abundance of plastic playing cards, and I realized that I couldn't put them straight on this mug warmer because the plastic just melts.
Into a plastic blob.
Yeah, wow, they start to smoke.
Oh dear. Okay.
It gets a bit.
Okay.
So not a great thing. So in comes the toilet roll again. Cardboard toilet roll doesn't melt on a mug warmer. Don't know why, but it doesn't.
Brilliant.
So just lifting the cards off the mug warmer. They dry as fast. and I saved my house from getting burnt down. So
everyone's going to be saving their
yeah. Just means you can use any yeah, exactly. And you can use any playing card and not worry about the fact that you're going to melt something.
That's genius too. I mean, and those are great. You don't want to have anything melt and start a fire. Also, Sean just mentioned her scratch foam class. Go to craftcast.com. You can type in her name, or you can go look in your handout and see her classes. The metal clay changeable art cuff is a genius project to make, and she does use the globes she shows exactly what she does to get that shape perfect for your wrist. But personally, I also think the scratch foam will blow your mind, what she shows you how to do in the scratch foam. And she shows how to do some geometrics. You would have thought, I'll never be able to draw that. She shows you how easy it is. I'm telling you, it's really, really, really good. So, yeah, she's good with the tips and good with the instructions. So,
yeah. Somebody's just asked if you can put the plastic ornaments on the mug warmer. I would, if you put them on a card that's on that little toilet roll paper stand.
Okay.
So the plastic, don't have the plastic hitting the mug warmer, because the mug warmer is too hot and would melt the edge.
Yeah, and you don't.
But raise it up and you'll be fine.
You don't want the smell of plastic too, so it's not good.
No, it would get all messy.
What is someone just wrote something about toilet paper? Who wrote that? Brenda. Beaters have used toilet paper rolls for years and saved several. Like we are never going to get more. I know. I love that spirit, Brenda. Yeah, save them. Listen, we all do it.
Yeah.
I have a little savings going on of something as well, because I think the design is so pretty. I'm saving the little pop tops from your cans of like club soda, because who knows? It's just
you wouldn't believe how many little collections of that kind of stuff that I have found in the last year.
Good. All right, good.
While I'm packing.
Right.
Yes, we have many things that we'll never run out of.
We won't. And we can always share them and send it to each other when we need them. So there you go.
Yes, we can.
Thank you, Miss Sean. Lovely. Go get Sean's classes. You'll love them. And she has another genius one coming up in our fall lineup of classes you'll love. You'll get news on all that. We're behind the scenes working away. But now we have Miss Cindy Pope, who's been waiting patiently here, but also asking and answering questions in the chat box. Thank you, Cindy. Cindy's always up with something. She always blows my mind. I just bow down to whatever she says she wants to show, because I know we're all going to love it. So, Ms. Pope, thank you for doing that. It's always a pleasure to watch and learn from you something fun that I know you're going to do. So there's her smiling face. So Cindy's going to show us how to do double-sided texture. That is sort of a theme today, is like we all love texture. So Miss Cindy, thank you for showing us what you're going to show us.
Great. And if we could pause really quick in the beginning, some of you may say, well, why do I need double-sided texture? Well, let me give you a couple examples. The first thing is my mentor, Hadar Jacobson, always told us, and I did not like polishing when I first started. I'm a little bit better at it now, but she would always say, if you put a texture on the back, it's going to be so much easier to polish. Now, I love a beautiful shiny back. I hate achieving one. And even if you do a brush polish, in my opinion, you have to get a beautiful brush polish, you have to get it shiny first and then take it back. That's what I usually do with my jewel tool. Anyways, so you can put it on the back, and great things for that are wallpaper, sandpaper. You can also take things like a sponge or a piece of fabric that is nappy. But it's just all you have to do is run a Dremel over it, and it's pretty ready. The other thing is, I don't know, those of you, I've done craft shows, I haven't done them for a long time, but people come and they look at the back of your pieces, and the back of your piece is interesting or unique or not bad looking. Also the sides of your earrings, I'm really into making a high polish on the sides, because people look at that too. It gives you something to talk about, and especially on Patrick, since Patrick's textures, he's given you what it's a texture of, and people want to hear about the piece, what it's made of, what is this natural creature or plant that it's made out of. So people are going to peek again at the outside.
Okay, I'm with
Also,
you.
we tie together our jewelry lines. We try to tie them together. I've never been good at this because I don't like to make things multiple times. But we tie it together with color, we tie it together with shape, but you can also tie it together with texture. So you can have a signature texture on the back of all your earrings. Adding a maker's mark always makes people happy too. They like to have something that represents the artist. Also, you can use the back as the front. So in this particular example, I'm not going to do a very basic front and back. I'm doing two different textures that are, one is circles and one is squares.
Okay.
And I've given you the whole process in your handout.
Yes, everything is in the handout, everyone. Really laid out, so you have that all there for you. All right, so here we go, and we love your desktop.
Thank you. I have a new desktop. It's a silicone tablecloth. Okay, so I wanted to show you how I'm going to do double-sided textures, and I'm not using traditional textures. They're both made by me. One is from a class I have on making your own texture mats. I love the fabric ones. They're super easy to use, and they put texture on top, as you will see in the final product, on top of what's sticking up, which is very different. I also have a texture mat that I had made by Carrie Story. My students and I are getting together, and we did this little class where we were drawing something and then making textures out of them and making pieces out of a piece of the texture that we made. So I put a bunch of these together and sent them to Carrie's so I can, see how it works and make a video for my students to show them, here's what you need to give to Clay Revolution to have your stamp pad made. And so what I do is, this is my little square. So I put textures on one side and pieces on the other, and I'll show you some pieces I made with it at the end.
And just as a little note, that's over at Clay Revolution, and you can add it to your card and get your 10%
Yeah, I have a link,
off.
and it's part of your
link is in the handout.
10% off.
Yep.
It is. It'll be priced after because they're custom, but yes, it is.
Yeah, you sign up for it and you send it to them, and like if it's all like heavy texture, it'll be a different price. And when you put oil on your mat, use something that's going to get down into the texture. Can we pause for a second real quick? So I'm using 3 different, and this may be what Patrick was talking about, reduction rolling, I'm not sure. This is how I like to do it to create a texture on both sides. So I'm using 3 different rolling frames, a 5, a 4, and a 3. And my little square texture that I had on my mat, I'm saying is about 1.5 mil. If it were deeper, and I have a lot of really deep textures that I absolutely love, you would want to start at 6 because you would want it. We're going to be rolling down to it. So now we can go. I want to tell you where we're going. So I'm starting out with 5, and I'm going to use a little bit of oil. And I'm using Aureus clay, which isn't terribly sticky, so I don't have to use a lot of oil. And it's an interesting clay. It's kind of dense and rubbery and very clean working, which I like. And I roll on a tile and a silicone mat because the silicone gives your clay a really beautiful, smooth finish.
Okay.
And I'm using some clay that I've been using for all these pieces, so it's a little cracky, but I didn't take the time to really condition it. But it doesn't, for this project, it didn't have to be like a perfect slab.
Okay.
I just needed parts that I could cut out of the texture. So I can put a little oil on my roller too. And you can use all different sizes. You could use Pam's rolling slats. You could use all different sizes as long as you can create these proper levels. So I've got a 5, and now I don't need my silicone mat anymore. But I'm going to put my, I'm going to put my texture mat down, and you can see where it's oiled.
Yep.
I'm going to put that bronze on top of it. And now I'm going to go down to 4. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be rolling having the exact thickness I want, pressing into that texture. And the way I roll, everybody rolls different. I think I learned from Wannery. Like many of us, we learned all kinds of things from Wannery. I'm going from the middle down and from the middle up.
I think Pam taught me that.
Yes. Well, and then I like to push down all over because I hate re-rolling. So I don't want one little piece that doesn't have a beautiful texture on it.
Okay.
And this texture is really pretty. So then I'm going to go down to 3, and I'm going to put my fabric texture mat on top. If I were using a traditional one, I would just put it on top. Patrick's would be really, really good for this. I think it looks to me like you're going to be able to get a really good texture from this double rolling technique. So I'm setting it first because on top it's more likely to slip. And then I'm just rolling, and then I'm pressing down because I don't want to roll again. I'm the lazy artist. And pulling it up. And when I take my textures off the mat, I like them to fall off. I don't like to yank them up, so I like it just to kind of fall off so I don't mess up the textures.
Nice.
And you're not getting a great view, but you'll see it at the end on the pieces. So I'm rolling it over. Now on a tile, I like to cut in a tile. I don't want to mess up my silicone mat. And I'm going to do, I can't decide what size earrings I want, so I'm going to use 2 different circle cutters. And I'm kind of making it so it's geometric, so I have lots of different circles and they're cut on the sides. So there's one. And sometimes I want to stand up so I can see what's happening down in. That's why I like that little green cutter is a ring sizer from Cool Tools, but I use it as a cutter. It's size 14, so it's the biggest one I could get. And then I'm gonna pull it up. Now, normally I would get little cutters and see if I could cut some more out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I decided not to. And so I'm rolling it up. And then I'm putting it in saran wrap, and then I'm spritzing and closing. And then what I'm going to use, I have all kinds of forms. I just have a box full of them. And a lot of them are very low profile. And I have these glass beads, and I like a fast dry. I'm going to use Sean's toilet paper technique. So I like a fast dry, but if I put these on the glass beads, I get a little wave on the edges. So after I took it off, it wasn't really domed properly. So I spritzed it a little bit and kind of played with it. And this clay can take that. It's not brittle. But what I like the best is this Sculpey form. And they don't have them at Michael's and Joann's anymore, but they're on sale at Dick Blick.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know how many they have. I have 3 more coming. But they have a lot of different ones. But this one in particular, it's a cabochon mold. And so it's nice and deep. And so if you're going to do a lentil, this is a really good one for it. Now, this clay, the way I'm picking it up is I'm angling my blade down and then just pulling it up. It doesn't stretch when you pull it up. Every clay has a different personality, and I use most of them. I have a lot of friends that use art clay, and art clay is going to be stretchy. So you don't want to pick it up right away because when you're trying to put 2 parts together, you have to let it kind of settle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to pick it up and it's going to stretch out. So you don't want the piece to stretch out. This one won't. And so I'm going around the outside. And because I'm not pushing straight down the middle, it'll cause a weakness in the piece if I do, or a crack. And I don't get a lot of cracks with the clay, but I just don't want a weakness and I don't want to smush it. And my texture on the back, as you'll see when I pull it out, turns out just fine.
Okay, so
and
a light
you'll have
touch.
You'll have to do a test with your clay. Every clay is a little bit different, and some clays are good for some things and some clays are good for other things. I did add something called Rejuvenate, which is a kind of a flexibility formula Cool Tools has, which I feel like makes this a little bit easier. And the little one was easier to push down. The bigger one, I just was being super careful. Because the first one I did, I pushed right in the middle, and you'll see a ball on that piece at the end because I filled in the crack and covered it up with a little ball. And there we go, and I'm going to heat it up. And it's a really nice dome, and it's not going to warp or anything. So here's the pieces before they went in the kiln. And
Those
you can
look great.
see, yeah, I'm using both sides. But I wanted to just tell you, once you've got your textures on, you may not want to be done. Anna Mazzone is another of my mentors, and she has taught me about little balls and adding them to everything. And in my classes, people say I don't like it, and I come out with little balls. Say, put a little ball there, here or there, because it really can give an extra piece of interest. So I've added little balls to the texture, and you can see in the ones where I have the texture from the carry mat is in the front. That's where I cracked the first one I did. And so I just filled it in, but I don't want to mess with that. I'm just never going to get that texture right where I filled. So I put a ball over there, and it really is nice because you can make them super shiny when you polish, and it really gives an extra point of interest.
I love adding the balls. I think it's a great graphic thing.
Not the best picture, but and you can see the balls better in one of the other ones. But I used Pam's Green World inks on the bottom ones, and I used the Green World inks actually for some of the blacks and LOS.
If you want to know about Green World inks, you're going to have to go to another I Love Tools and look that up. That Pam showed us those inks for coloring metal.
Warning: you will have them in your house now. So if you can see a little bit of the texture on top. I think you'll see it better in one of the other videos, but it's a really interesting technique using the fabric as your texture because you're getting an interesting look on top, and I really like kind of a industrial look. And there's my squares in the back. And so someone's going to look to the back, circles in the front, squares in the back. I think it's kind of fun. And here's I use 2 different colors. My friend Rebecca, who's on, she does much better with the inks. She's a painter, and she blends them beautifully, and they come up really nicely.
It's fun. And I love, that's good. I love that.
Yeah, so this is where I added that ball, and I just, it's a pretty earring already, but the ball just kind of gives it a little interest.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4 balls would be better, but I'm trying not to overkill.
I'd like to say one other thing. These photos have been done in Photo Room, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The Lightroom.
Photo Room. I used Photo Room before Pam's class. And then I told her, you should do a class. And I spent 3 days just, she did a beautiful job of a very organized way to teach it. Yeah. And I had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. It's
You can see the texture a little bit better with this one.
Yeah, that's fun. We're all into texture now. And you could use Patrick's front and back. I love this. I mean, everyone, make sure you come over and come on to Chat with Craftcast. We're just finishing up now because you'll have other questions. We love sharing and to see what everyone is doing. So please come over there. It's just really fun.
And people are tactile. People like, they like it. Even if it's shiny on the front and the texture on the back, people like, we don't see so well as we're older. Maybe that's some of it, but we really like to feel our art.
It's organic.
Yeah, and I think that's I have to have that butterfly wing.
I know, right? Dragonfly.
I have to have that.
I know that one's good.
So here's my mats. I have 2 of them. And I did pieces and I do texture, and I wanted to show you 3 of the pieces that I've made with my texture mats that I'm very happy with because they're my little designs that I made.
Pretty.
And
really pretty.
And Photo Room helped the look of these a lot.
Yes.
But, especially the one on the top was made from like my little snail picture, and I just love it.
As Pam says, you have to learn how to take a good picture, but then you bring in a photo room and you can make it look professional and add all the reflections and all that kind of stuff. So there's no doubt about it. It's really good.
And it's lowered my stress because I was not a good picture taker. So here are a bunch of my textures. So I did a class on texture on fabric and acrylic, and there's probably about like 9 different, there's a lot of sections on how to do it different ways. The bottom left one that's white, that's from Mags's class, and it's the silk screen. Thank you, Mags, because this gives
Pam.
a beautiful low profile texture for the back. Really beautiful. And you can have it match your deeper texture on the front, because I also have this cut out of a stencil. So it's really a beautiful texture with the fabric she has you use.
And I know people are already wondering, but how'd you do that? What do you mean? So, Robin, you have thunder and lightning. I do too. So we're finishing up though before we lose electricity. But here is the deal. Here is Cindy's class, creating texture plates. Get it, on sale. You'll love it. It's 140 minutes. You can just sit around, have a vacation weekend, and just do this. It's great.
Very fun.
Very fun.
I'm downloading that one. That one looks cool.
It is. It's really good. I mean, you'll just really like, oh, I didn't think of that. And then here is Mags's class that she just was referring to, with making silk screens to use with your polymer clay. We know how to have a good time is all I can say here, right? We know how to play.
And she figured out a better way to frame it, so it's not going to fray at the ends. Obviously, I talked to Mags about Mags's class came after I had done the ones that were all frayed. But her technique is super good. And
what I love is we can use all these techniques for all the different clays, whatever you're using or doing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what the best thing is. You guys, we did it again. Wait, I'm going to show. I can't remember. Oh, there's the coupon code that works at Craftcast. You'll get an email. Terry just wrote, another great I Love Tools, but not easy on my budget. I know. I'm sorry about that part. But yeah, it's great. So save that I Love Tools to the end of the month. It works on all the different things. It's all in the handout. You'll get an email that'll show you where the link is on the Craftcast site once everything is saved. So you can just put it in your cart when you come over to Craftcast as a freebie. And anything else I forgot, because right now my brain is like, oh, wait, what do we want to order? Oh, wait. So there's a lot of things. So thank you all. Thank you so much to everyone who's here. I just love playing with this group. My husband saw everyone. Oh, there's the name of the Facebook page, Chat with Craftcast. Go over there. Misty will let you in. But I said to my husband, I mean, look at all those wonderful people. Patrick, Pam, Lost Electric. I might too soon. Sean, Mag, Cindy, and Carrie, the best. Thank you so much for just being willing to share your expertise and inspire people. I think I'm not a doctor or anything else, but we can do inspiration for people and make them happy. And I think that's a really good thing. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you everyone who comes on. Send us any emails if you have any questions. Support@craftcast.com will answer all your questions. And a big thank you to all of you. Love seeing you
everybody.
online.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye. Be safe. Be cool. And stay in the air conditioning. All right, everyone. Bye-bye, everyone.